Hi, I'm Katy and I'm excited to have interviewed Dr Dawn Harper as part of the Channel Mum Meet the Expert series. Now, you probably know her from shows such as Embarrassing Bodies or Born Naughty, but she's also an NHS and private doctor. She does loads of charitable work and she's got 3 grown-up children, and she wasn't afraid to answer the questions that we wanted answered and to hopefully simplify them a little bit too. So take a look and I hope you enjoy. Dr Dawn, thank you so much for having us into your beautiful home.
Thank you for coming.
So for mums and dads, particularly with kids under 5, it tends to be fevers, rashes, vomiting, tend to be the things that we go to our GPs about. When should we go to our GP as our first point of call?
We are encouraging people to use their pharmacists more often now for what we would call self-limiting illnesses, so the coughs and colds and minor vomiting. 111 is another great resource. But if you're really worried, or if you've taken that advice and things aren't getting any better, particularly with little ones, I always say, I never mind seeing them, because just that bit of peace of mind.
When should we just get straight to our GP or even to an emergency room? What sort of rashes or temperatures should we be thinking about?
So a child with a very high fever, a child who's listless, a child who just won't eat, child who has, if they're in nappies, has dry nappies, that means that kid's getting really quite dehydrated. The classic rash that we all worry about is the glass test rash. They used to roll a glass over it. If it doesn't blanch, that's a medical emergency. And actually, I would say that's not your GP, that's A&E. All kids get coughs and colds. If you look at a child and they're really using, we call it their muscles, accessory muscles, so they're sort of heaving with their chest and they're using muscles in their neck and so on, that child's an unwell child, and that isn't a child that needs to be sent down to a pharmacy. That's the sort of kid that doctors need to see.
What about educating ourselves in terms of doing a first aid course? Channel Mum have got an amazing first aid course with the St John Ambulance on the Channel Mum website, but should we also go and do a first aid course with someone?
I feel very strongly that actually first aid should be taught at school. I think it should be in the curriculum. A lot of mums today are working as well and juggling an awful lot, and finding time isn't necessarily easy, but I do think if you've got the time and you can do a St John first aid course, it's such a good thing to do.
What's your perspective on listening to parents and their instincts? My granddad was a GP, and he always said, listen to the mother.
Couldn't agree more. First time round, I think we are all allowed to be uber worried. That's kind of in the job description.
Right of passage, isn't it?
Yeah. I think if you just feel your child's not right, this isn't him, he's not right.
You know your child.
Yes, you do know your child, and we need to listen to that as medics.
Now, as mums, we're always thinking about how we can be most prepared for medical emergencies, whether we're preparing to be a new mum or whether we've got older kids. What are some of the best ways that we can prepare ourselves?
The kind of things that I always had at home when the kids were little was junior ibuprofen, always obviously plasters, slings and bandages, antiseptic, antihistamine cream and tablets, for those stings and so on in the summer. So I think that's a basic kit.
Now, you're a big champion of women's health. Yeah. What are you seeing coming into the surgery the most in terms of what women are coming to you? What are they worried about mostly?
Okay. Sadly, what I'm seeing today is masses of stress-related illness. More and more women are working longer hours. They start doing at 6, 7 and 8 o'clock in the evening what our mums did as we were at school. And I think we still have this sort of baseline feeling that we should be able to climb every mountain and cope with it all and do it all. And we're not very good at looking after our own health or putting our own needs anywhere near the top of our agendas. My greatest plea to mums and dads out there actually is it's okay to have a bit of me time.
Contraception is a big issue for mums, particularly post-children.
Yeah.
How do you advise mums coming in saying, I don't know what to use?
I do think sometimes women come into my surgery and they ask for the pill, when what they're really asking for is, I'm in a longer term relationship, I don't want to be relying on condoms, I want something a bit more reliable. And I think it's up to me and my colleagues to make sure that women are aware of all the different options. So whilst the combined pill is great, I think one of the things that does happen for young mums is your routine is sometimes completely up the swanny, and so remembering to take a pill at the same time every single day sometimes
when you're exhausted,
yes, sometimes isn't as practical as it was pre-children, and so considering something like a long-acting reversible contraceptive, so an injection or an implant or an intrauterine system, may be an option.
Your book, Live Well to 101, is all about things that we can do for living really healthily and little tweaks that we can make. Have you got maybe 3 little golden nuggets that we can take away on how to look after ourselves?
I think number 1 would be move. It's too easy to be sedentary today. So we don't make life easy for ourselves because it's all too easy to sit at a desk and sit in a car or public transport, but move, you definitely get at least 10,000 steps in a day. Number 2, I think I'm going to say maintain your social networks and try to think positively, particularly as young mums, because we're so busy doing everything for our kids, we sometimes let our own social networks fall apart a little bit, and I'd say don't. It's really important for your mental and physical well-being.
Find your Channel Mum village in your area. Find your tribe.
Yeah. Number 3 is going to be eat more vegetables.
Well, Dr. Dawn, thank you so much. We could go on and on, couldn't we? But I do think that you've probably been a great help to those watching this and answering a lot of questions that come up in our Channel Mum support group as well. So thank you very much.
My pleasure, thank you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our next instalment of the Channel Mum Meet the Expert series. You can watch more in the series as well by clicking the link below. I'm also going to add the link for the Channel Mum St John ambulance course as well, because it really could be the most important video you ever watch to help you know what to do in an emergency situation. And also comment and let us know if there's any other experts that you'd like to see us interview.